Hey everyone, it is time for a new episode of BAM! Boris and Matt Sports Entertainment. We're your hosts. I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by the one, the only, the Matt.
Bonjour! How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful day today in Toronto, Boris. My God, it's like 19 degrees, nice breeze, sunny. It's like fall.
Right?
Fall is coming.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, September hits and it's just like immediately. Yeah, just loving this weather. If it could stay like this year round, this would be the perfect temperature. This is my jam right here, Boris.
Isn't it? It's so good. But I love September because September marks the beginning of football. It marks the beginning of hockey, marks the beginning of basketball. Like this is when we start going hard with the sports.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, just the fall is just such a pleasant time. You just the beautiful colors, the nice breezes, hoodie weather, Boris. And it's like you said, man, it's time for sports to start ramping up. Fantasy football drafts are coming strong. The season, I believe, begins Thursday the 9th, right?
Yep.
Right on. So yeah, my fantasy draft is Tuesday the 7th. I'm very excited for that. It's a 16-person league. I've been in it for honestly 10 to 15 years. It's really, really dope. Deep roster, 16 teams. So yeah, we're going to chat a little fantasy football on the show today. We also got some NWA stuff to talk and some Corino versus Corino.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it all. I can't wait for the sports, but especially can't wait for Corino v. Corino.
Yeah, you got a chance to check that out this morning?
I did, actually.
Amazing. Yeah, like I said, that match blew my socks off when I saw it. I was not expecting something to the caliber that we got. No offense to either guy, but Steve Corino hasn't been in a ring in what was it, 8 years?
Yeah.
Before that?
Yep.
Yeah. And and Colby, while we know Colby is great, I think this was far and away the best performance of his career.
Yeah, Colby, honestly, I know I'm biased, but that kid, he's so he's got so much potential. It's insane right now. It's insane. I feel blessed the fact that I got able to talk to him last week. You can check out the full interview on Slam Wrestling, but he's such a cool guy, and it's one of those people, when you talk to them, the passion just oozes through.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can tell he loves wrestling, literally was born into this business and has been a wrestling fan and adjacent to wrestling his entire life. So yeah, man, it's cool. It comes through in his work, it comes through in his everything he does on camera, and I guess in his interviews as well. So that's cool.
Yep, exactly. So what's going on? What's new, Matt?
Oh, not too much. Just got some things to handle today. Probably make an Operation Sports video today or tomorrow. Just kind of talking with the hires up about what to hammer out this month. And just kind of figuring it out. I got some actual job shifts coming up here as well. So yeah, just, taking at bats, swinging away, buddy. How are you doing, good friend? You look a little tired today, buddy.
No, I am a little tired. It's been one of those days. It's everything's good. I got my coffee.
Nice.
It's I don't know. It's everything is okay. Could be better. Could be worse.
Burning that candle at both ends, Boris. You need some sleep. But yeah, you could get a cup of Joe in you, buddy, and we'll be good to go. Some good wrestling to talk on this show.
Yeah, but before we get to that, let's talk some sports. Let's talk some football. But you know what? Before we get to the football, there is something I wanted to talk to you about. That is the New York Mets and their thumbs down celebration.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. The New York Mets, the players, are booing their own fans in response to the fans ruthlessly booing the New York Mets. And now, as I understand it, this was started by Javi Baez, which is double insulting to Mets fans because he's only been a New York Met for an hour and a half.
Yep.
He got traded there 2 weeks ago, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's just very, very interesting. But you know what? of all fan bases, Boris, New York is probably second or third to like Philly, maybe one or two others you can nominate in terms of the rudest, meanest fan bases, right? So of all people, New York fans should be able to take it if they're going to dish it out to that degree, you know?
Exactly. Like we're talking Philly, we're talking Boston, and then we're talking New York. Like those are the top three when you think about like, you know, asshole
dickhead
fans.
fan bases.
Yep.
I 100% agree.
And then wrestling fans.
Yes, a separate island onto themselves. And the worst are wrestling fans in Philadelphia, Boston, or New York.
Exactly. But yeah.
I think this is a hilarious story, man. Honestly, like this doesn't bug me at all. I'm super for it, and I'm super for the fans giving it back to them twice and 3 times as hard. That's the whole point. That's the whole give and take. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to, like I said, if you're going to dish it out to the degree that the New York fans do, you can't be mad when someone gives it back to you. But at the same time, man, like, if you're a fan and this guy has been on the team for 2 weeks and he's like booing you, you're like, well, fuck Javier Baez. So I love this back and forth. I think it's great. I think it's good for baseball.
You know what? If anything, it's gotten the sport. Baseball, there's only so many headlines that baseball can get, right? Like we got the Field of Dreams game, but then since then, we've had nothing, right? So if anything, this puts them up there. This puts them noticed. And like, let's be honest, you know, it's a fan base is so passionate that they're gonna fucking boo you. Good on you. You don't see this in every sport. You see this in maybe soccer, maybe soccer, right? You know, Toronto needs to fucking take a note from this.
Yeah, TFC is not. They're a mediocre season.
Well, I'm talking
that nobody
other
cares
Toronto
about.
sports.
Yeah, true. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah, I was just gonna say, even TFC's fans are actually like great for like the how new that team is and like for their fan base. TFC has great fans, they really do. Yep. But yeah, I 100% agree, man. It's it's just funny. It's just funny. Like now, New York fans are gonna whine because one guy literally just turned their behavior on.
I love the fact that Kevin Pillar is in on this.
I like Kevin Pillar. If you were a Jays fan in the mid 2010s, you will never hate on Kevin Pillar. He is your boy for life.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, it's just so funny. But that's where we're at with the New York Mets. So yeah, like here's the thing: as a fan base, the fan base, you know, you can call them loyal, you can call them happy, and they will be, but some fan bases are going to dish the shit out. Here's the thing, though. Now, players are saying, fuck you, and they're going to dish it back. So, like you said, it's the back and forth that, like, you really, really need. You know, it's kind of like everyone's going to hold everyone responsible.
Absolutely, man. It's a little bit of fun to get us through the dog days of summer, Boris. Baseball needs it. I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Exactly. All right, let's talk some football, NFL, fantasy draft. What do you got?
Yeah, so I was gonna run a couple things by you here, just get your opinion. You're a football watcher, but not a big fantasy football kind of guy. You do know your football, you just don't play the fantasy, right?
I refuse the fantasy game. I get way too into it. That's the issue. I get way too into it.
Yeah, just obsessed and stuff,
yes.
Right? Like I feel you. I like fantasy football for that reason because it's not. Like fantasy baseball, you can like obsess over the minutia every single day for the entire baseball season. Fantasy football is awesome because it's like a once a week kind of thing. I guess there's always the Thursday games.
Yeah.
But by and large, it's just a Sunday activity. So I really like fantasy football for that reason. But yeah, I'm just gonna run by the general ADP based on fantasypros.com. That's the average draft position. I'm gonna throw some hypotheticals at you here, Boris.
All right,
so
let's do this.
Number one. The first 6 picks are running backs, which makes sense in fantasy football. Running backs are a rare commodity, and the best ones score a lot of points. So the number 1 player is Christian McCaffrey. Do you think that he's incredibly productive. But now he's got Sam Darnold as his quarterback, and he's coming off a pretty bad injury. Do you think that Christian McCaffrey should be the number one pick over guys like Dalvin Cook in Minnesota, Derrick Henry in Tennessee, and Alvin Kamara in New Orleans?
That's in. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say no. Just like no. I don't think so. I don't think so. So is there justification why he is number one, or is this just like?
I think the justification is he catches a lot of passes, and so he gets a lot of receiving yards, and he's been incredibly productive in his career. But yeah, the questions against picking him first are the new scheme, the new quarterback Sam Darnold. If he's really bad, defenses are just going to focus entirely on Christian McCaffrey, although they've been doing that already, right? And again, his injury concerns coming off of a bad injury. Yeah. So I think personally, if I had the number one pick, I might take Dalvin Cook out of Minnesota. I do think Dalvin Cook is going to have a fucking humongous year. And I think Minnesota, though they kind of have this a similar problem with the quarterback, I think Kirk Cousins can get the ball downfield enough. We've seen him throw. The only skill that Kirk Cousins has is throwing the football deep, right? So I do think that Dalvin Cook is going to have a humongous season. So there's another debate, Boris, at 5 and 6. It's Ezekiel Elliott versus Nick Chubb. Now, the problem with Nick Chubb is that Kareem Hunt is also on the Cleveland Browns, right?
Yeah.
So as awesome as Chubb is, Kareem Hunt eats into his production. So my question to you is, if you had the number 5 pick, are you taking Zeke Elliott from Dallas, or are you taking Nick Chubb?
You know what? Here's the thing. I would take Chubb simply for the fact that you never know what the F Dallas is going to do. Like, you really don't know. Like, yeah, the player is better, but you don't know what the team is. If the team is going to produce, you don't know what the F is going to happen with the freaking dumb boys.
Yeah, that's really right. I think generally also there are injury concerns for Dak Prescott as well, right? Although I've heard both, like, he might miss the entire season because he's so banged up, and he's completely healthy and good to go. So literally the entirety of the spectrum is possible for Dak Prescott.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't trust Dallas as an organization. I don't trust that. Like, there's so many things going against them right now. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just, there's just so many things going against them. But Matt, I have to ask you, Bills, how are they looking?
The Bills? Buffalo?
Yes.
I think they're going to win the division. Miami is very, very good as well, but Buffalo's,
that's where I'm going with that.
Sick, man.
I think it's my segue into our fish.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Miami is looking at a wild card spot this year because Buffalo is going to win that division. And I actually think the Patriots have a chance to make the playoffs too, although the fact that they cut Cam Newton
I was literally going to go there.
The rookie, very interesting. But Boris, I do feel like we should touch on the rumors that Miami might trade for Deshaun Watson. That would be terrible. God, I hope they don't do it.
Like, why? Why would you do this? Why would you do, like, what's the point? Oh, please, Dolphin. You know what? It is the most Dolphins thing humanly possible.
Yeah, 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000%. They already have Tua. I think they should give him a full season and see, and let this Deshaun Watson thing play out. Let him serve a suspension. Let him possibly, like, whatever legal ramifications there are, work that out before you bring that headache on. I just think that's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's just, I don't get why. Like, you have a good team right now. Like, it's and right now this is the thing. Right now their division is just like, it's you can win it. You can win it. You can win it. You can win it. So like, it's you or Buffalo at this point, cuz New England
New England is a dark horse at this point. They're no longer the favorite. They are a dark horse. Like, if they win the division, it will be a big upset. Although I do think they're in the conversation, Boris.
Of course.
They're not the favorite.
Yeah.
Buffalo is by far, on paper, the best team in the division. And Miami's actually, like, safely number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, on paper, yes, you're 100% right on paper, but you never know. Like, let's be honest. Like with the NFL, you really never know what's gonna happen, and that's why, honestly, I freaking love it. And yeah, like I can't wait. I think this season's gonna be so interesting. I feel like all the TV providers are sweating a little bit because, like, who are your main teams right now in the NFL?
Exactly, like Kansas City, not the biggest market. Buffalo, awesome, dedicated market, but very, very small.
Great fan base, what I mean? But like, let's be honest, when it comes to money.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, the Los Angeles Rams are up there, but they're so new. Yeah. Really, nobody cares about them yet, And Dallas is always printing money. Green Bay is always one of the most popular teams, But yeah,
I gotta ask you, Vegas. What do you think Vegas is going to do?
I think they're classic Vegas, between 7-9, 8-8, maybe squeak into the wild card at 9-7 and get obliterated in the first round. But I think they're 8-8.
Yeah, no, and then yeah. Well, actually, isn't this the extended season?
Yeah, this is the first season of 17 games, Boris. A 17-game NFL season, which is absurd. 16 is like a nice round number. There are 32 teams in the NFL. 16 games kind of made a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. This is going to inevitably become 18, and then who knows, maybe 20 down the line. But yeah, this is going to be 18 games in a few years. 17 is just such a dumb number.
I just don't understand the incredibly unbalanced schedule that you're just giving all these teams at this point, right? Especially at a time when, like, let's be honest, everything can shut down in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Exactly right, man. Yeah, I mean, it's not like cases are going down. Yeah. And NFL, like, football is such a... There are 53 guys just on the starting roster of a football team, not to mention the practice squad. Yep. You're playing a contact sport so close in proximity to so many different people. Football's crazy. I can see why the NFL is so stringent with the vaccine policies. There's a couple more players I wanted to touch on before we get out of here, though. A couple sleepers in the second to third round. Not like deep sleepers, but these are guys that I think you can justify spending a first-round pick on, and I think they could win your league if you sneak them in the third round-ish. So we're going running back James Robinson from Jacksonville. He was extremely productive last year. Jacksonville drafted Travis Etienne, and he's going to miss some time, Etienne is. So James Robinson is getting the rock. He's got a rookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to hand that ball off a lot. Look for James Robinson in your fantasy drafts. That guy's going to be sick. Kyler Murray, always good. He's a little underrated, especially if you play in 4-point per passing touchdown quarterback leagues. That's the vast majority of fantasy football leagues. That rewards running quarterbacks, right? Because they get running touchdowns versus passing touchdowns. Kyler Murray eats up running touchdowns. I think that he has a chance to pass Mahomes this year for the most fantasy points by a quarterback. I'm not sure if he will, but, Pat Mahomes isn't going to always crank out 6,000-yard, 700 touchdown seasons. Eventually, he's going to have a hiccup. He's going to miss a game or two. And I think in that scenario, Kyler Murray would be the guy who is the number one quarterback.
Yeah, you're getting him right. Yep.
Getting him around 3 or 4 is a humongous fucking steal. Also, people are... I think underrating Tampa Bay's receivers a little bit because there's like a glut of them. There's like Mike Evans, there's Chris Godwin. They kind of eat into each other's targets. So it's like you don't avoid Tampa Bay receivers because there's too many of them, because they're all going to eat. They will all eat bread, Boris.
100%. 1,000%.
All right, that's pretty much my fantasy football talk. I am excited for the drafts.
Right? Can't wait. I think you're gonna have a good time with that. And I'm so torn because I want to do it, but at the same time, it's like no, I can't.
Fantasy football is like the best one in terms of you don't lose your life to it. Like, it's the least in a lot of ways. It's still as addictive, but it's the least addictive because you really only play it on Sunday, right?
Yeah. Yeah, to a certain extent. All right, let's move to wrestling.
Maybe we'll get you in the league down the road.
Let's move to wrestling. We have a lot of wrestling talk. I think we're going to go from ROH to NWA to Corino v. Corino. So let's start with some ROH. Because we're going to start with some ROH TV. Again, 3 matches, 1 hour. Dude, it's such an easy watch. It's like NXT UK.
Awesome, man. Yeah, a good ROH show is it's just a treat to watch. But even a bad one is a quick and easy, digestible hour.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And the thing that's hurting ROH the most right now is the lack of fans. And I really want them to get the fans back. But the fact that they're still producing a weekly 1 hour show, power to them. But yeah, so 3 matches, 2 women's matches because the women's tournament is still going on. The women's tournament is actually going to wrap up in the next few weeks because right now we are in the quarterfinals. So let's get right into it. Match number 1 of ROH TV was Angelina Love versus Max the Impaler. Dude, I was praising Max the Impaler in terms of a character, in terms of the lasting appeal, in terms of so many things. And I'm not shocked, but I am a little shocked because Angelina Love was able to win via disqualification. It was, essentially Max the Impaler got herself DQ'd because she just beat the shit out of Angelina Love. So I feel like that's going to be a program down the line because you have, Max the Impaler, who's this completely character-driven character, and then you have Angelina Love, who is what more can you say with her in the Allure, right? And Mandy Leon. So I kind of like how that happened, but I'm still a little shocked. So yeah, Angelina Love won via DQ.
Interesting. That is a shock, man. I'm very surprised because the Maxine Smashmaster has been getting a pretty big push, so I am very surprised by that.
Exactly. And then I don't know why I was shocked by this one. So we had Allison Kay versus Trish Adora, and Trish Adora won via pinfall. Just
wow.
Yeah.
That to me seems a little political, we can't put the NWA wrestler too far in this tournament. But Allison Kay is the bigger name, and I think probably the better wrestler at this moment, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking. So I was a little shocked just from a face perspective. If you look at it from just a fan point of view, it's very interesting that Allison Kay lost, but Trish Adora won.
No, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, these the bracket busting episode of ROH TV.
Oh, 100%. And I got to say, both of these matches would have to go just above the Mendoza line. I'm going to give them both 3 out of 5 handshakes, 3 out of 5 code of honors.
Nice. Fair enough, my friend.
And then, dude, but the main event. Oh, if there's a match, and we praise NXT UK on NXT Talk every week, but if there is a match that you're going to watch, it is ROH main event for the ROH TV Championship. Dragon Lee, Eli Isom. Dude, wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Well, yeah, tell me about it. I like Eli Isom. He's really good, and obviously Dragon Lee is one of the best in the world, man. So...
yeah, here's the thing. It's exactly what you think. Dragon Lee is just so good. Eli Isom is such an up-and-comer. And I have to say this. We've been saying this for weeks. I do not want ROH to become the Montreal Expos of wrestling.
Yes, they don't want them to develop all these great young stars only to see them go on to massive success with other franchises.
Exactly. Man, it's just Eli Isom, and it's just, he's this match just worked. They have great chemistry, and for a TV match with commercials, they just made it work. And here's the thing, you have to give them credit too, because they don't know when the commercials are coming, right? St. Clair's corporations, they just throw commercials literally in the middle of matches sometimes. But this one just worked. Obviously, Dragon Lee won, but I'm gonna have to give this one 4 handshakes out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
4 handshakes. That is a great match here at the BAM Sports and Entertainment and elsewhere, of course, everywhere on the internet. 4 out of 5 is a great piece of business. That's awesome. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was such a good show. Again, ROH is I know I'm biased because I'm covering them for SlamWrestling.net, but it's just
Nice.
it's been a fun watch the past few weeks.
Hey man, yeah, no, I agree, and I think most people who watch the show would agree. I think that's pretty much what you see about Ring of Honor. Sometimes it's a little boring, and sometimes they miss fans a lot. Actually, always they miss fans. But by and large, the show itself is pretty well produced and entertaining.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into NWA Empowerrr, dude.
All right.
Whew.
Good watchable show. A lot of feel-good moments. I thought this was good professional wrestling here. It was bad. It over-delivered, in my opinion. It was a show that was the whole was more than the sum of its parts, as they say. Sorry, I'm going to close my window. There's a garbage truck outside doing business.
Now.
This was a very entertaining show, buddy. I really, really enjoyed it. What'd you think about it?
I really enjoyed this. I saw this in my stupor, and I thought this was a great show. Like, overall, this show really did deliver. I got to ask you, though, Empowerrr, Evolution, which did you enjoy more?
I actually did not sit down and watch the entire Women's Revolution, the Evolution pay-per-view. I saw bits and pieces of it, so I couldn't actually give you an intelligent take on that. But I did think that Mickie James did a great promo to kick this off. I think they produced a great show, and I would be shocked if WWE's was better than this.
It legit, it was. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it really was. But this show delivered. Here's the thing. I'm a fan of production. I'm a fan of what it looks like on TV. And this show kind of missed a little on that. And I was a little worried about NWA 73, but they did fix their shit. But overall, this show was hurt more by non-wrestling stuff.
Yeah, 1,000,000% agree with that. Yeah. There were a couple, production snafus, as you've kind of alluded to. There was one really, really bad one in the main event. But yeah, you know what? By and large, it is what it is. NWA is an indie, man. Despite the fact that they are powered by the hulking bank account of one Billy Corgan, they're still a small-time indie. They are, period. So
exactly. All right, Matt, do you want to walk us through both NWA shows?
Yeah, sure. Briefly, we can get through this. So yeah, the pre-show of NWA Power, Christy Janes versus Sky Blue. Sky Blue wins that match in 5 minutes. Pretty typical pre-show match. Nothing you haven't seen before. I gave it 2 smashing pumpkins out of 5 for a 40% Corgan percentage on that one. Perfectly fine little opening match. Like not egregiously bad. But yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So the show opens with Mickie James coming out, cutting a tremendous heartfelt promo. Velvet Sky crying on commentary. Just really, really good stuff. And it kind of set the tone for the show, how much it meant to all the performers and everyone producing the show as well. So then we started off the show with the 3-way interpromotional match. It was Diamante from AEW versus Kylie Ray from the NWA versus your girl Cheek Tormenta from AAA. I thought this was a very good watchable match. I was shocked at the winner. I thought for sure Kylie Ray was going over because she's wrestling Mickie James on the next show.
Right.
But no, Tony Khan got his girl that W, and Diamante goes over in, let's see, 8 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, I was so shocked with this one just because, like we said, Kylie Ray is working 2 times. For me, it was like, what was the point of Diamante winning?
Yeah, I don't see why they did that at all, other than I think Tony Khan lent a wrestler, and he was just like, I'll lend you Diamante, but she's not losing kind of thing. Like, you can have whoever you want if they at least win a match sort of thing, especially because he lent a tag team who wasn't ultimately going over in the final of the tournament. Anyway, I thought this was a good match. We're going to go 3 smashing pumpkins out of 5. It's a 60% bullet with butterfly wings percentage, Boris. Next, we had a pretty terrible match, the first in the women's tag tournament. The Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell versus Hell on Heels, who are Renee Michelle and Sahara 7. This was the worst match on the show. It was bad. Do not seek it out. We're going one smashing pumpkin, a singular pumpkin out of 5. The Hex win in 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Bad, sloppy, indie level match.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Especially when you have an actually good opener, and then you go into this, it's like, whew, what's the rest of the show gonna give us?
Yeah, definitely a little dicey, but you know what? They picked it right back up with this one. The Free Babes, Jazzy Yang, Hollywood Haley J, and Miranda Gordy losing to the AEW tag team of Kylan King and Red Velvet. Boris,
I was shocked.
We have found the role that Red Velvet excels in. She needs to be the baby face selling her ass off in a tag team. She's the Ricky Morton. She's the Shawn Michaels. She's the Jeff Hardy. You know what I mean? She is that lightweight tag team wrestler who sells and sells and sells and gets a hot comeback. She was great in this role.
Yeah, dude, it was so good. Like, she excelled. Like, it was exactly what you needed, and this was by far her best performance.
I agree. I think it was these two matches were the best performance of Red Velvet's career, I think, pretty safely, and I think she belongs in a tag team. I was really, really about this match. But yeah, so the AEW tag team wins. That's Kylan King and Red Velvet. They won that match in 6 minutes and 44 seconds. And I would go above the Mendoza line for sure. We're going to go 3 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5. It's a 60% disarm percentage, Boris.
Yeah, dude. And then we're going to segue into probably one of the most talked about segments of the weekend. Maybe the third most talked about segments of the weekend.
Definitely the best thing that NWA did all weekend. One of the best things I've seen in wrestling all weekend, or maybe even all year, man. I really like this. Gail Kim comes out, basically says she's not much of a promo, but it's really nice and beautiful, and thank you for being here, and thank you for having her. And then Taryn Terrell comes out with her heel crew of Genocide and Paola Blaze, and they're going to beat up Gail Kim because they're bad guys, you see, Boris. But then who should come out for the save but Awesome Kong, longtime rival of Gail Kim. Awesome Kong comes out, beats the shit out of these heels, and then cuts a tearful promo saying that the only thing that could have gotten her off of her couch was Gail Kim. And she owes her career to Gail, and she retired in front of these fans. She said she was done, and they hugged and cried. And Boris, I got a little emotional. It was a beautiful moment.
This honestly was so good, especially like you don't need to follow Impact, TNA, whatever you want to call it, to know the history behind these two. And this is what I love about wrestling, man. It just worked so well. It's like, who better to retire you than your biggest foe? And what better angle than you saving your biggest foe?
Yeah, I really loved it. Like a nice full circle moment. Perfect way to end Awesome Kong's career. This is a beautiful segment, man. Really, really good. Definitely, it's on the YouTube. Seek it out if you haven't seen it.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we went back to wrestling, and this was the moment that I realized that Deonna Purrazzo was fucking great at professional wrestling. When she grabbed Melina by the hair and drug her kicking and screaming to the best match I've seen Melina have in forever. The second best match probably of her entire career, next to that Beth Phoenix Royal Rumble match. Yep. Maybe it's the best match of her entire career. Deonna Purrazzo versus Melina. And boy, it was actually really good.
Dude, Deonna Purrazzo is amazing. She is such a good wrestler. She can drag anyone to an amazing match. And she's so young. Like, she is so young. It's insane how young she is. And the sky is the limit. What was WWE thinking?
Well, she doesn't have the body of a fitness model, so you can get the fuck out of this company, miss. But yeah, honestly, WWE's loss is the gain of the professional wrestling industry. Deonna Purrazzo is great. She's great.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, this match impressed the heck out of me. Melina sold and sold and sold like Shawn Michaels selling the knee at 1990 SummerSlam, Boris, just crying out in agony. And Deonna Purrazzo eventually wins a 3.5 Smashing Pumpkin match, 70% B at least. Honestly, I might have underrated it there. This was a really, really good wrestling match, and it was basically all Deonna. All Melina had to do was sell the crap out of her leg, and Deonna did the rest.
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome. So next we had the NWA Women's Tag Tourney Finals. The Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell versus Team AEW, Red Velvet versus Kylan King. Even better than the first AEW Kylan King Red Velvet match. I thought this was really good little tag tournament final. The Hex win in 9 minutes and 41 seconds to become the NWA World's Women Tag Team Champions. Again, a lot of fun. I thought this was, a pretty worthy crowning of a champion. Also, it's worth noting that Medusa came out to do guest commentary on this match, and she was fun. She's a nice Southern truck driving mom character in NWA.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but so definitely a good watchable match. We're gonna go 3 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5 for that one as well. Next, we had the match of the night for sure.
Hold on.
I think pretty
before
safely.
we go in.
Go ahead.
I need to ask, match placement. Wasn't it a little weird that this didn't close the show?
So I think on paper I understand the decision to close the show with the gauntlet. If the gauntlet would have come off as planned, if the gauntlet is like a 4-star awesome match with all these surprises and it goes off without a hitch, then sure, do it. The only problem is the gauntlet was a sloppy, terrible match with bad production. Anyway, we'll get into that. The match we're talking about right now is the NWA Women's title match between Camille and legit Layla Hirsch, also of AEW. And this match was pretty dang good. Camilla's big and green. She's a little bit of a Charlotte Flair type Pokemon, although with less gymnastics. Legit Layla Hirsch is just female Taz, and she's awesome. She's so good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. That's exactly the best way to put it.
Yeah. So I thought this was a very, very good match. The best match of legit Layla Hirsch's short career, at least that I've seen. It's possible she's done better stuff on the indies. I would seek this match out. I had it at 3 3/4 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5, 75%. It's a B+. I wouldn't call it great, but it was an awesome performance by Layla Hirsch.
Yep.
All right, so the main event of this show, like we already said, it was a sloppy, pretty bad match. The Women's Invitational Gauntlet. It was a pin and submission Royal Rumble, basically. It's 10 women. People enter at completely random, nonsensical intervals. They didn't even pretend to make it like every 2 minutes. It was literally like some people came in after 30 seconds. Some people came in after 5 minutes. It was brutal. But so the 10 combatants were Bianca Corelli, daughter of Santino, Chelsea Green, Debbie Malenko, Jamie Senegal, Jenna Side, Kira Hogan, Lady Frost, Masha Slamovich, Thunder Kitty, Tootie Lynn, and that was it.
Yep.
So, one thing worth noting is I'm positive, Boris, they advertised Thunder Rosa and delivered Thunder Kitty.
Dude, 1,000%. I'm like convinced that was the case.
That is a dirty, dirty ploy, because I was excited to see Thunder Rosa in this match, and I thought she might actually do some work. But I guess her relationship with the NWA is probably done forever. But yeah, Chelsea Green entered this Royal Rumble thing at number 1, stayed to the end and won it. She is officially the babyface of the NWA women's division until Power the next night.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, as of this moment, Chelsea Green was the conquering babyface. And she won a pretty terrible match. I would give it my classic bad match, but good effort rating, which is 2 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5. Boris, what'd you think about this one, buddy?
Dude, this match wasn't the best, but the production, like this match hurt the entire pay-per-view so bad for me.
100% agree with that, man. Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough watch. It was, but yeah, like the in-ring work wasn't the worst, but like there was a point when I don't know if like the breaker went down or what was going on, but they had Lady Frost's like Chiron up on the screen for about 4 minutes. It just said Lady Frost.
Yep.
And there was only one camera and it was not moving. It was like the stationary cam pointed at the ring. It was the only thing working at. It really broke down production-wise more than match-wise, honestly.
Yep. 1,000%.
Yeah, but still, having said all that, a very good, feel-good show, and I really liked NWA Empowerrr. I would recommend it if you haven't
Same
seen
here. Like it was a pretty good show. It's a fun show. It's exactly what you would think in terms of like results for the most part, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot in the grand scheme of things. Like it was a good showcase for the women.
Yeah, and at this point, Boris, we both went 5-2 on predictions on that show, and that put us at 10-2 each overall. We were still tied going in to NWA 73, which was also a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, it was pretty good. Again, some feel-good moments, one amazing promo, and it was like all things considered, they delivered.
We'll talk about that promo. We will talk, good sir. All right, so the pre-show started. Allison Kay, Marty Bell, new tag team champions, the Hex, and Lady Frost versus the heels who got beaten down by Awesome Kong. That's Genocide, Paolo Blaze, and Taryn Terrell. I actually thought the finish of this match was pretty clever. Allison Kay and Marty Bell were dominating basically the entire match, just kicking some ass. The last move of the match, Lady Frost tags herself in, hits a pretty nice moonsault for the win, and acts like she did all the work.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a pretty nice, obviously setting up Lady Frost and Partner X versus Allison Kay and Marty Bell down the line. I liked it a lot.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly. What more can you ask for? It's kind of funny because WWE is they ran a similar angle, but let's move to the next match.
Yeah, I would give that one 3 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5. Here's one that I actually, this was another good match, and it's, man, Colby Corino's really good at this. Colby Corino versus PJ Hawks. You could talk me into the fact that this was better than everything on Empowerrr. Honest to God. This little pre-show match was actually pretty dope. Colby Corino, good wrestler. PJ Hawks actually scores the upset victory over Colby Corino. It didn't go very long. What was it? Yeah, only 7 minutes. I think 7 minutes on the dot. But yeah, very, very watchable match. We're going to go as high as 3.5 out of 5. It's a B. It's not the greatest thing you'll ever see, but I would definitely give that a B. Colby Corino versus PJ Hawks. Good pre-show match.
Yep, exactly.
Speaking of matches, yeah. So we start the show. This match came out of nowhere, man. I was not expecting anything close to this. Just a blow-away, great match. I'm not lying. Brawl in the Lou. Listen to these names that had a great wrestling match on NWA. Crimson versus Tim Storm versus Tom Latimer.
Yep.
I swear to you, I promise this was a 4-star match. This was great. This was just full of plunder and hatred. The most wild thing I've seen on NWA TV by far since Billy Corgan took over. This was a somewhat modern wrestling match with like some 90s feel to it. I just really, really like this. This was the best thing that NWA has done in years.
1,000%. Yep. This was so good. Like watching this, I'm just like, the rest of the show, it's got a lot to live up to.
Yep. So yeah, Tim Storm wins the Brawl in the Lou in 9 minutes and 10 seconds. It was awesome. 4 stars, best 4 Smashing Pumpkins. Apologies, best thing that NWA has done in years and years and years. Watch that match for sure. Really, really good.
And then a shocking match for me, because we were talking like last week when we were giving our picks and whatnot. This was just like, I don't know. It's just like it was so weird. It was just so weird of a decision of who went over.
The result makes no sense to me. I get what they're doing in the future, but it could have been achieved in a million different ways. Mickie James defeats Kylie Rae clean in 5 minutes, Boris. 5 minutes and 35 seconds. Mickie just basically beat up Kylie Rae and pinned her with the DDT. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because after this match, who should attack Mickie James but my new girl, Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo comes in with a mask looking like the Black Scorpion and laid out Mickie James, and that's going to be an Impact Women's title match down the road. It's going to be Mickie James versus Deonna. So that's why they did it. Now, they should not have sacrificed Kylie Rae to do this.
Yep, exactly. Like, I just don't get it. Okay, so I understand the long-term booking, I understand the long-term program, but that's a program that you could have continued on Impact. This has been a program that's been going on for a few weeks on Impact. It's going to continue on Impact, and it did not need to happen on this show.
Even if you're going to do something on this show, just don't sacrifice Kylie for it. Just have Mickie James beat fucking Genocide. Not even Genocide, because she's really pushed too. Have Mickie James beat Taryn Terrell, someone who was actually in Impact. You know? Why
exactly.
not? Terrible decision. Terrible decision. But a good match. We're going to go 3 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5. For the 5 minutes that it was pretty good. Here's something that was not good. Terrible. Jordan Clearwater, Masked Man, and Tyrus versus the Pope in the end. It went 13 minutes, Boris.
Dude,
this
wait.
Terrible,
this
boring
match was
6-man
horrible.
tag.
This is horrible.
13. Oh, just Tyrus, unwatchable wrestler. The worst wrestler in professional wrestling is Tyrus. He sucks, man. He's so bad.
I love how you're not even sugarcoating it. It's like,
no. Come on. I'd say it to his face too. Like, he'd probably beat the shit out of me. Don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, no, he's not good at this. He does not.
Agreed.
He does not need to be in professional wrestling. Yeah, the bad guys, Masked Man, Tyrus, Jordan Clearwater win a terrible match in 13 minutes. We're gonna go 1 Smashing Pumpkin out of 5. Wasn't an embarrassing, wasn't like an all-time bad match, but it was terrible. It was terrible. Yep. Next, we're going to the NWA National title, the ugliest belt in professional wrestling. Chris Adonis versus James Storm. Another match that went way too long. This between these 3 matches, the previous and the next 2, and Velvet Sky just being the worst color commentator in the world, this show fell off a cliff. Yep. The thing that people hate about Chris Jericho, Velvet Sky is much worse at. Minus Jericho's passion, minus Jericho's product knowledge, right? She just screams nonsense. Yep. That's all she's doing.
1,000%. Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
She's just grating. But yeah, so this was as average as a professional wrestling match gets. Chris Adonis wins in 14 minutes to defend the NWA National title. We're going 2.5 Smashing Pumpkins Mendoza line match.
Exactly. What more can you say about this match? It was what it was.
Yeah. And what it was just a bowl of vanilla pudding.
Yes.
Next, Boris, you want to take this one because I feel like you enjoyed it a lot more than I did. Ric Flair promo.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, I really did. Look, I'm a fan of a legend coming down, talking accolades, being given the chance to talk about stuff. It was a little I don't know. Like, I like this for what it was on paper. Clearly, it, did it deliver? What was the point? But, you know what I mean, right? Like, simply from a legend being able to talk, he did what he needed to do.
Absolutely. He rambled too long, but it was a nice moment. Like I have a heart, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror and tell you, oh, this was terrible and a waste of time. It's Ric Flair in the chase for the NWA. Like, it was good. The man has earned the right to take as long as he wants, say whatever he wants.
With a tear in his face, he was able to just let the man speak, especially
of course.
Ric fucking Flair. Ric fucking Flair in NWA. Like, you can't write a better story.
But I think it's also safe to say that he said the same thing over and over and over. It was a little boring. It went a long goddamn time. And while I appreciate that it should have happened, and I'm glad it happened, I wouldn't call it great, and I don't ever want to see it again.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, I'm glad we came to that agreement. But yeah, Ric Flair in the NWA. What, you know what I mean? I could have looked myself in the mirror and hate on it or tell you it was terrible. It wasn't terrible. All right. So next up, we had a bad 12-man battle royal. Some battle royals can be okay. It's pretty tough to do a good battle royal. This was a sloppy, terrible mess. The 12 combatants were the winner, Judas versus El Rudo, Jamie Stanley, Marshe Rocket, Slice Boogie, Jeremiah Plunkett, Luke Hawks, JTG, gassed to the gills as always, is JTG.
Dude, it's insane how big he is. To the point where it's like he can't even perform anymore.
He's huge, man. He's getting that. He's on that NXT Performance Center diet. He's going to become a coach in a couple of years. I'm calling it now. But anyway, JTG, Captain Yuma, Rush Freeman, Heartthrob Jaden, Big Mims, and Sal Renaro. So yeah, terrible battle royal. Kind of just a giant waste of time. Bad match, won by Judas in 20 minutes and 8 seconds, Boris. 20 minutes and 8 seconds this went.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, this show has fallen off of an absolute cliff at this point. Thankfully, the final 3 matches did help to pick it up. All 3 were pretty good, starting with the NWA Women's Championship, Camille over Chelsea Green. Again, Chelsea Green at this moment, just the biggest babyface you ever saw. She's working a straight up Ricky Steamboat babyface style.
At this moment.
Because I don't know if you saw, but on NWA Power the following Tuesday, she turned heel again, and now she's right back to the hot mess.
Yep, exactly.
So I don't understand why she was Ricky Steamboat on these 2 shows, but hey, you know what? It was pretty good. She did hit, I thought it was pretty funny. I think Camille hit Zack Ryder's finish on Chelsea Green during this match. Very cute spot. I feel like that was pretty good. And Camille ended up winning in 12 minutes and 33 seconds, defends the title over Chelsea Green. That was pretty good. Not as good as her match with Layla Hirsch, though. But I'll still go 3 Smashing Pumpkins out of 5.
Yep, and the next match for me was actually the match of the night, the tag team match.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes.
I thought we'll talk about it. But yeah, I thought the opener was easily the match of the night. But yeah, this was a surprisingly good match. Best match I've seen Damian Sandow / Aaron Stevens have in a long time. It was Aaron Stevens and Kratos, JR Kratos, defending their NWA tag team titles against La Rebellion, Bestia 666, and Mecha Wolf 450. What did you enjoy about this match, buddy? What did you like about it?
Like honestly, it was just a fun little match. Like it did what a tag team match should do. It felt classic. I don't know. I just really, you know what? Yeah. Maybe I'm an Aaron Stevens merc. Maybe I'm a Kratos merc. I just really like this match.
No, I really liked it too. I thought it, like I said, shockingly good for Damian Sandow these days because he's slowed down in the ring noticeably.
Big time.
This was his best match in a long time. I would agree that was really good. We have new NWA tag team champions, La Rebellion, Bestia 666, and Mecha Wolf 450. Also, I didn't realize it until they said it on commentary, but it makes sense. Bestia 666, son of Damien 666.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah. Damien, I think Damien was in WCW, even in the Latino World Order for a cup of coffee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So yeah, a little WCW tie-in, but I would go as high as 3.5 Smashing Pumpkins for this one. It's a 70%. I think it was second or third best match on the show. I definitely think the opener was the best.
All right. Then, I don't know why people are so shocked at the result of the next match.
Yeah, like, it didn't surprise me at all. I thought Trevor Murdoch was going to win the title.
We've been talking about this for months.
Yeah, this was obvious and telegraphed, but Nick Aldis ending his 1,000+ day run as NWA champion. We have a new NWA champion. It is Trevor Murdoch, big fat trucker from St. Louis. I love me some Trevor Murdoch, though. He's a pretty good wrestler. He did his classic Trevor Murdoch Code Red in this match. Lots of shenanigans, brawling all over the arena. Guys are getting involved, and Trevor Murdoch does win, showing a lot of Harley Race spots in this. Yep. I think he hit Harley Race's elevated perfect plex thing. He was selling like Harley Race a lot. There's some Harley Race shout outs. Obviously, Harley Race trained Trevor Murdoch, and they were very close when Harley was alive, as I understand it. But yeah, so Trevor Murdoch wins the title, 16 minutes and 25 seconds. I wouldn't call it great. I would call it very good. We're going to go as high as 3 3/4 Smashing Pumpkins on this one.
If you had told me that Trevor Murdoch were to be your NWA champion, not only be the NWA champion, but dethrone Nick Aldis, I would have laughed at you. But it's been telegraphed for months and all summer. This has been literally since the last pay-per-view in the beginning of June. This was going to happen.
Yeah, again, like it was pretty obvious. It was pretty clear. So yeah, I think they had to do it, and sure, let's keep it going. Trevor Murdoch's not going to hold this title long, but I think he's a worthy NWA champion for where the NWA is at right now. I think he's a perfectly fine transitional champion.
Yep, exactly.
So here's my question to you: who do you think beats Murdoch, and who do you think should beat Murdoch?
Oof. Oh, man, that's a very loaded question. Originally I would have said Chris Adonis because I had Chris Adonis pegged to lose his belt and he was going to move up, but I don't know right now. Like I legit have no idea.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you're right. I think Chris Adonis is going to be that guy, despite the fact that he still has the NWA national title. I think the way they're kind of building the story with Strictly Business too, I think it's going to kind of maybe Nick Aldis turns babyface and leaves that group. Not exactly sure how they do it, but I do think Adonis will beat Murdoch for the title. That's what I think will happen. What I think should happen, give it to Colby. Honestly, he's the brightest young star. Put it on a bright young star, if not Colby. It doesn't have to be the guy that we love here at the podcast.
You know what,
but
dude?
Put it on a bright young heel.
It's funny that you say that because that's literally what his dad did with ECW. They just gave it to the bright young star.
Exactly. And guess what? It was pretty entertaining. For the end of WCW, some of the best stuff they did was the Steve Corino run. So
yeah, ECW. But not only that, but like his work with Dusty. Like that's classic shit right there. Shit.
All time shit. So yeah, good show with a terrible middle, but a good start and a good end. And I think NWA Empowerrr was better, but I do think the best match, arguably the best two matches, happened on this show. So all in all, good weekend for the NWA. They kind of did slot themselves as an indie, but they're a good indie.
That's what they are, though. Like, let's be realistic about this, and if they embrace it, I have no issues with that. It's NWA. They have the namesake, but the reality is that they don't have everything else right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they do have history. They have that name, and they got to milk it for all it's worth. And I think it's clever to do things like make a smaller show at the Chase feel like a humongous event with John Goodman doing the teaser video.
I can't believe that.
Great get, and I thought he did a pretty good job with it too.
Yep. All right, let's talk father v son.
The main event of the show, because Boris, a tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Who doesn't want to beat the shit out of their dad? Right?
Yes.
But we're talking Colby Corino versus Steve Corino. Premier Wrestling Federation Crystal Coast Oceanic title match at the Colby Corino 25th anniversary show.
Yep.
37-minute wrestling match. And you can argue that it went too long, but again, this is the story they're telling, man. It's a father versus son epic tale. This was meant to be an epic tale, and I think it was an epic tale, man. I was not expecting a match this good. I didn't know Colby had this in him yet at his stage of the game. You know, I didn't know he had this level of performance in him, and I didn't know that Steve still had it in him.
That,
you know,
to me, yes. Colby, yes, one thing, but Steve, dude, wow, like he can still go. You know the BS. You still got it. This MFer still has it.
He still got it. And the thing is, he always worked that old school style. So he's gonna age well. And he did. He is aging well as a wrestler because he's kind of just doing the same thing he always did.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
This match was brilliant. A brilliant piece of professional wrestling. I'm not lying when I tell you this is a classic wrestling match. I promise I'm not just saying it because we like Colby around here. This match blew my socks off. Top 20 wrestling match of the year, at least 4.5 stars, 90%, A+, classic tale of professional wrestling here. Father versus son, and man, it was so the commentary was brilliant too. First of all, they were shouting out a certain interview over and over, Boris.
I know.
Made me feel We're doing some work here, buddy. But yeah, that was awesome. Kept shouting out your interview on commentary. Although, name the author and the website, guys.
Right?
Name the author.
It's funny, dude. Watching this match, I'm like, say my name.
Neither here nor there, though. You still got the shout out, buddy. But yeah, the commentary was brilliant here, pointing out the little subtleties in this match. Like, they don't want to hit each other. They don't want to, like, punch each other in the face until they did. Start slapping and punching each other in the face. And Colby knows that Steve has serious neck problems. So Colby, as a gentleman, is not going to go after Steve's neck until he does, because he wants to win this match and beat his dad. He wants to prove that he belongs. So yeah, this was just awesome. Storytelling, great. Commentary, pretty damn good. Actual wrestling, fantastic work. Just a classic wrestling match. I'm telling you, if you have an IWTV subscription, watch this match. If not, get a free trial to watch this match. I swear to God. Best
honestly,
match
like
all year.
This match was so good. It was just like, honestly, so good. Honestly, like, it was kind of cool. Like, when you sent me the message when you were watching this that, hey, they're talking about your interview. But then watching it, it's like, holy shit. But like, that aside, the wrestling itself, the storytelling and the story that these two guys were telling, father v son, this might be like a fucking classic.
Oh man, I honest to God think it's a classic. It's like I said, like tale as old as time, buddy. This is like some Shakespearean shit happening in your wrestling match. And your mileage may vary on match length, right? Like, just because a match is long doesn't make it good. But I think this felt half the length. It felt like a 20-minute match in 37 minutes.
Yep, 1000%. So
yeah, if you take nothing else from what we say, watch this wrestling match. One of the best of the year. Top 20 wrestling match this year, easily.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. Like, this one was so good. I'm so happy that, yay, thank you, WWE, for letting Steve Corino do this.
Ah, man, so dope. Like that, and I hope someone up there takes some notice and gives him a little boost and helps him like do some more work at the Performance Center, because this man has a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom to impart. So yeah, next week on BAM, I think we might talk some Superstars, because the very first episode of Superstars, 1986, was September 6th, Boris. And I think our show is going to come out September 9th next week. So we might go retro Superstars for you.
I agree. Yeah, we're going to talk some Superstars. We're going to talk some AE dubs, because it is their pay-per-view this weekend. Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, word. Oh, shit. Should we do a pick contest for AEW? Nah, screw it. We'll pick the next show.
Yep, exactly. Because it is time for us to go. It's if you're listening to us from the SNME radio feed, go check out your shows. There's the midweek markout. There's NXT talk from us. Tomorrow you're gonna get the old fucks talking AEW. You're gonna get some old fucks again on Saturday talking AEW, and you're gonna get the Smack Daddies. And then the main show on Sunday this week, it's actually gonna be a best of show, simply because there is an AEW pay-per-view. And with that said, you're going to get the after party if you are a patron. So make sure to sign up on patreon.com/SNME radio. If you want some NXT or soon to come BAM merch, go to ballergear.ca. And I just want to thank everyone for listening. Honestly, Matt, as always, it is a pleasure. This is BAM Sports Entertainment. He's Matt. I'm Boris. Good night.
Get an uppity, buddy. Yeah.